should have known. I should have known you had your camera.
Yeah.
Sit here.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I met Dre and Dave today out here at the TA in Jessup, Maryland, and shot a little ping pong. In case y'all didn't know, I didn't know. They got a ping pong table here downstairs, so we got a little ping pong going on. But you know, we also had to bring out some.
It's all right to say TA Baltimore and South Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, this way they know where the ping pong table is, you know, which is nice.
Smart, Dave.
You know?
TA and Jessup, Maryland, exit 41. Y'all know it.
A lot of fun.
But right now, they're gonna hit y'all with some insight about life as a trucker. They you training right now?
Right now, yeah, I'm a trainer for one of the large companies out there. It's going okay. It's not an easy thing. Training is definitely not for everybody. So I mean, they got guys, they got truckers training students that are coming out of school with only a year experience. You know, and it's like I don't think a trainer is ready to train with only a year experience. The more experience you have, I think the better trainer will be. But then again, you can have 20 years experience and not have the tools.
Right.
So what if, you know, you don't have what it takes. It doesn't mean that you have what it takes to actually train somebody else.
At least 3 years, 3 to 4 minimum.
Yeah.
Before they try to train somebody else, you know.
Of course, I mean, a lot of these cats that only been driving for a year, they don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that they're going to run across that they never experienced before. Where you have somebody that has experienced a lot of different situations. You know? That definitely helps when you're actually training a student. You know? But you know, you got to have the patience and the right mentality and the want, the want to actually train somebody. A lot of these cats don't have it.
With you guys, is there a process for the student? Is like the student don't like the trainer or want to switch trainers?
It's not that. Well, from my experience, what I know is that they want the trainers, no matter what type of problems, on a personal basis. You know, if you're having problems personally with someone, they want you to, tolerate it. They want you to put up with it. So I guess you can't put up with it anymore. But yeah, they don't want the trainers hopping out. They don't want that phone call saying, hey, yo, it's not working out, or this kid's not listening, or you know, we're arguing all the time. And I mean, a lot of times it almost comes to blows, I heard. You know, for real.
You heard that?
Yeah, over and over and over again.
Oh yeah.
You know?
So it's common.
And what you're talking about, I'm hearing from some of the students, and it kind of sounds like some of these trainers who don't want that student no more. Like they trying to push buttons and make that student make the phone call and say, hey, I can't deal with this guy.
Now,
something like that. That's what I'm getting.
On the other side of the coin, you have students complaining about the trainers that have a good reputation, that has been doing it for a while, and they're getting stories about this trainer is doing this and saying this. And, it's like complaining, like trying to, just because on a personal, just because they're having problems with someone, they be lying about the trainer.
How do
the trainers be lying, huh? Eventually, when they have to, when they have no other choice but to pull a student from a trainer, what they do is they just throw them with another trainer. When it doesn't work out with one trainer, they'll throw them with another trainer, but they want you to do everything you can, to make it work. Because it's costing them money to do that. And a lot of times it's conflict between personalities. It's like a lot of trainers don't know how to deal with everybody. Yeah, if you don't have the right mentality going into it, there's a lot of trainers I don't think is they don't know how to deal with people that they're not used to dealing with, that are different than they are.
Like you would come from the Carolinas and get a student from New York or whatever, and I mean, your personalities
clash.
Really clash.
Trainer listens to country music. cat listens to hip hop. You know, right there, there's a conflict of
That ain't gonna
interest.
work at all.
You know, it's not, you know, because you live in, you like, you know, it's like a marriage. When you're running teams, you know, you're living with somebody day in and day out. You're around that person almost 24/7, and you got to be able to. It's like a marriage, man. It's like a give and take.
Right.
You know.
That's what I was thinking when you said that, like something like that. One love hip hop, one love country. Yeah.
But it's
two
true.
adults supposed to be able to.
But it's not that way. The reality of it, it's not that way. You know, I'm from the north.
Hey,
you know?
hey, them four walls get small and you listen to country music or I'm listening to rap music or whatever all the time and stuff. You can't do but so many miles listening to what you ain't used to.
Well, I can see that.
Or what you're not, you know,
accustomed to.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I can
Some
see that.
people just hate country music.
Yeah, they do.
I don't love country music. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it.
Right.
But I don't. You're not going to catch me buying a Garth Brooks CD. You know what I'm saying?
At the same
I'm not going to be listening to Blake. You know, in my truck.
I feel you. Because I don't know how much heavy metal I would be able to.
Right. You know.
And I like rock.
Can you imagine somebody's playing Metallica nonstop?
Yeah, I see what
you know what I'm saying? You just. So you know, it's a give and take. You got to be able to go. You know, you want to play your music. You know, and like when you're behind the wheel, you know, you play your music. When I'm behind the wheel, I'm gonna play my music. But also respecting the other's space in the sense of, yo, I'm not gonna blast you out. You're trying to sleep. I'm not gonna throw Metallica on and put a full blast. Right. You know, you start banging your own head against the wall. You know.
Well, that's perfect. So yeah. So, what are some words of advice for people who are running teams in order, you know what I'm saying, to make it work?
It's not easy. It can work. A lot of these big companies go into teams.
Yeah.
You know, you can make money with it. I mean, a lot of these companies, they're offering a lot more mileage than, say, companies that just have solo drivers. So, you know, on one side of the coin, yeah, you know, you can get that mileage. If you're with a company and you got the work, and you're with the correct co-driver, and there's a lot of little things that come into play, but if you're getting, you know, you can get the mileage and you can really benefit from running teams. It's nice to have somebody to talk to. It's hard talking to yourself, you know. I mean, you can only talk to yourself so much without actually, yo, man, I think, you know, I might say, you know, maybe I'm going crazy, man. Because, you know, I mean, how much can you possibly talk to yourself?
I talk to myself all the time.
So that's, you know, that's why it's nice to have a dog. You always turn your dog, you know what I'm saying?
No, now I talk to her, but I used to talk to myself all the time.
And when you start answering something, you know things are not good. You know? Nah, but
and one thing, running teams or solo, I would try to talk to other truckers and find out how they like running teams versus solo, how other companies are doing it, pay scale, all that stuff with it also.
I think teams could be a good thing, but then again, it's like wanting to become a trainer. It's not for everyone.
Right.
You know, if you don't have the personality to actually be able to get along with someone, don't even think about it, because it's not going to work. You know, you gotta. If you don't like people in general, you know, don't run teams, because you gotta like the person you're running with. You're not gonna agree on every little thing. The thing is, it's like when we have respect for one another, and it comes down to, do you respect other people? I do. You know, so I'm not going to have that problem, say, the next guy's going to have when it comes to running teams. I mean, without that respect, you might as well forget about it. You run solo, you know, and a lot of truck drivers, they run solo because they cannot run teams. And a lot of truck drivers become truck drivers because they just don't want to deal with people. They like being alone. That's all good, you know. I mean, it all depends on the individual, you know. There's nothing wrong with that.
A lot of people, I think, go in the team direction is because it's presented to them that they're going to make a lot more money as a team. Is it true? And even if it was true, then I think you already, you know what I mean, you basically already said it. That is not the reason that you should use to go team.
It might be a good thing. It might be a good team. Might be a good thing
for some.
For students when they first starting out. It might be a good thing for a student when they first starting out. I mean, you get that experience you'll get that experience, and especially if like I just started out, and I'm with a veteran in trucking,
Right.
and I'm learning
So, yeah,
a lot of stuff
It's a plus.
with running with him. You put a student out here on his own, he just gotta throw him out there in the water. He got to figure it out. Like, I mean,
or you throw him with another student. You know, there's students running with students out there.
That's blind leading the blind.
Blind leading the blind. The only good thing about that is you're able to watch one another. If you have some, you know, if you have that, you know, and you look out for one another, it's a good thing. You know, you have company, you've got somebody to talk to. When you pull in these truck stops, they're not all well littered like this. You know, they're dark. And it's not an easy thing back in these trucks in these tight spots, 90-degree, you know, backups. Having another set of eyes out there helping you, spotting you, so you don't make those little mistakes that are going to cost you down the road. You know, they cost. Every little mistake you make, you know, it's going to cost you. So having that extra set of eyes is a benefit of actually running with a partner.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's probably the best thing. Like for new drivers,
Definitely.
that's definitely a plus. Because I get a lot of people coming through that these incidents cost them. They get pushed from this company, they go to another one, an incident or two. That's it. Nobody else is gonna hire them. I mean, that's what they're saying is that we can't. I applied here, here. I only had these couple of incidents, and nobody give me another chance.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of drivers out there that shouldn't be driving. But it is what it is. It's not my fault. You know, I'm not putting somebody behind my. I don't own a truck. You know, if I own the truck, I'm gonna make sure that person can handle the truck. I'm not gonna put somebody behind the wheel that should not be, you know, be behind the wheel. Never mind my truck. I'm worried about the other people that are out there on the road. You know,
you got way more than your truck. Yeah, never mind the truck.
Yeah.
It's everything else.
We're talking about other people's lives that are at risk every single day because of truck drivers not having the proper experience or the proper teaching to be out there. And there's a lot of people getting, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of accidents that are going on. A lot of people getting killed that it doesn't have to be that way. There's things that they could be doing to correct this. You know, by not putting people out there that don't belong out there. They're putting in, I feel they're pushing them through a little too quick. And what happens is it's going to cost people's lives.
You think that's
and I think that's a big mistake that a lot of these large companies are doing.
You know, the trucking schools, they already pushing
They're pushing. Then they give it a trainer with a big company and they're pushing. Why? Because they want their bonus money. They're not really, you know, they don't really care about how good he's doing. They care to a degree, but I don't think, you know, it's all about the dollar, unfortunately.
As long as that trailer get to where it needs to be.
Yeah. As long as they get through their 180 hours without messing anything up, that's all the trainers care about. They're just pushing you along. Are they properly teaching their student the way they should be taught? I don't know. Most of them probably they're not getting the proper teaching out there.
Hey, well, what ratio of students? Because Dre, you already had went to truck driving school.
Yeah.
What ratio of students do you get that are coming to Covenant for the first time from ground zero versus ones that's already been to? I said Covenant.
That's it. Edit. In your orientation class, what was the percentage of students coming in?
I probably would say at least half.
More than half.
Yeah, but then what?
At least
half.
Orientation
to the company.
So students
that
actually
already
coming
have
out of
been
school.
coming out of school into the company.
Oh, yeah.
It probably was at least about half. I would say at least half.
If not more. I'm saying 65 to 75% coming through those doors now. Weekly are students.
So yeah, I was gonna ask you. So, how good of a job do you think the truck driving schools are doing?
I don't think they're doing half of what they should be doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you know. Go ahead, Dre.
Now the one I was with, they weren't pushing them through like that.
Right.
If you messed up, you just gotta. They made sure you got that 90 and everything else that you need. But they weren't just pushing nobody through, because there was a couple of them that was still there.
He went to a big school.
Repeating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now and the school he went to, the thing is, it's like the longer they keep you, the more money they make.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So they didn't mind.
They didn't
Now,
care, yo.
you got some of the ones that's
love to have you
not the
for
big
3-4
schools
months
that
if they
are
could.
pushing some people through.
Right.
And they can't drive for real.
There's a lot of mom and pop, you know, there's places, I mean, back in the day, you used to be able to get your CDL license for under $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, $600, you know, boom, in and out, you got your license. You know, back in my day, it wasn't like that. First of all, there was no CDL when I got my chauffeur's license. CDL came into play. And back then, you didn't have to go to school. You just needed to pass. You needed to pass the written. You needed to pass the pre-trip, the written, and then they put you out on the road. And you go to DMV. You bring your own truck, or they'd have a truck out there the same way you do your car, and they'd give you a road test.
Right.
Every facility that didn't do it, you had to find facilities that did CDLs at that time. This is going back in the 80s when it first started. It's a whole different ball game now. You know, now they're bringing in these students on these grants. You know, where you don't have to. You know, and a lot of these cats, you know, they're coming into the trucking business thinking they're going to make big money. And it's like we were talking before. You know, there's money to be made, but it's not as easy as what they may think it is.
Right.
There's a lot more to it. Definitely.
And then there's a definite difference between a new driver salary and experienced driver salary.
Yeah.
And then it depends on where you go.
It all exactly. It all depends on where you go. Sometimes the pay scale to me is just a little too close. There should be more of a separation. But it's not. And like I said, I don't believe in paying these students nothing. And a lot of these companies are paying their students nothing.
Next to nothing.
Okay? And we're not just talking about the first 30 days or the first 60. We're talking about, you know, there's companies out there, I heard, you know, they've got these students driving for a year without actually really paying them any money.
And that's one of the things I tell them.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, that like once you get your year, you make sure, first of all the way through, you ask the people what they get paid.
Right.
And when you get to the year, if they're not paying you what you think you should be getting paid, leave.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because, you know what I'm saying, it's just ridiculous. You know, it's one thing to allow them to pay their dues and get in the door and provide them the training, this, that, the other, but after you get your year experience,